Sup Ninja Online guys, welcome to Shadowrun, Dragonfall. I had to say that slow because I was going to fuck it up again. This is chapter 7. Right? Yeah, 7. When we last left off, we were exploring the bazaar here, getting to know people and know where things are. That way, if I want to get things, I don't really know where I'm going with that. It kind of sounds stupid now. No, but like I know that the weapon dealer is over here now. There's a cybernetic enhancements there. There's a drug dealer over here. Like I'm just learning the area, right? We have our Decker needs right here. So I'm gonna finish kind of exploring the area out a little bit, and then we shall go back into the safe house and see what's crack-a-lackin'. Now we've already been in Cafe Tes V, but I figured I'll pop in there again just to see if there's anything to see or talk to or shit. We looked at the menu board before. Let's talk to this guy and see what he says. Good old Altog. The Turk leans into you, keeps his voice low. I have information regarding that matter my people were looking into, Efnum. The one involving the surveillance device on my data tap. Altog, I've been waiting for my coffee for nearly an hour already. Are you going the beans out back? The coffee vendor shouts. Can't you see that I'm speaking to an honored guest, you tower of quivering corpulence? His voice lowers again. Now then, as I was saying, we were fortunate that you happened upon that surveillance tap when you did. The people on the other side, on the other end, were planning a very bad thing to be sure. Very bad thing. Quite bad, yes. Monica Schaefer was an important member of this community, more than most were aware of. This Kai's was under her protection. You know how it is in the Flux, Efnum. The government of a place like this is tenuous at best. You never know who is going to be in charge from one day to the next. But Monica was a stabilizing force. And not just because she was dangerous. She was smart and funny and wise, and she had a way with people. They wanted to support her to follow her, because they loved her. When she was killed, it left an opening for others. It wouldn't have meant bloodshed and pain if this council had been allowed to continue the plan, but they did not. We saw to it, you and I. Indeed we did, Altog. The Cruise Bazaar will maintain its stability a while longer thanks to us, my friend. We got karma for that. Now, what can I do for you, Efnum? Would you like some coffee, perhaps? Just killing time. I'll be gone. That puts me at 1 point, right? Yeah. I'm going to work on intelligence next. So, I'm looking for at least 4 points so I can get my decking up and then my ESP control. Cammy, let's go talk to this person. Oh yeah, that's the niece. I think the relationship was. She tips an invisible hat. Hey there, remember me from the cafe? Name's Cammy. Are you looking for something? Depends. Is there anything I should be looking for? She titters. Volunteering information, that's bad for business. Unless Altug wants me to tell you something, but that's rare. I'm just his ears and hands outside of the cafe. He's got enough of a voice all by himself. He doesn't seem to be afraid to use it either. Not in the slightest. Since you've just moved here, I have some advice. If you haven't guessed already, he's got fingers in a lot of pies. I've seen what happens when he doesn't approve of someone or something. Pissing him off can't be worth it. And at the very least, you won't be able to get good coffee in this town again. She grins cheekily. I see. Well, you'll most likely hear instead of see if you haven't already, or I guess you'll see if you're tripping on something wiggly. In any case, I've got some errands to run. Come over sometime and we can chat over hookah or something. Ja? She lazily tips an invisible hat at you before turning her focus to a comm at her wrist. I haven't been in here yet. I figure this is the Shaman Shop though, considering the name of it. The Talismonger's Shop. Can I go back here? Is that Elgernoon? Or I think that was his name, right? The guy from the first game. Or from Shadowrun Returns. I'm almost positive it is. Absinthe. Something about the young elf behind the counter makes your breath catch in your chest. She's lovely to look at, but it's a strange kind of beauty. Her eyes are large and luminous and impossibly green. As she looks at you, you can see that her iris are fleckled with iridescent gold. Hello and welcome to Algernoon's. I knew it. Perhaps I can help you with something. We got willpower. As she smiles at you, her eyes fixed on yours, a curious feeling of weightlessness fills your chest. It feels as though you're floating in a warm, calm sea. A gentle current pulls you closer to Absinthe, and the sensation is pleasant. As you drift, the golden specks in her eyes begin to move. Fortunately, I can't look away, so let's look deeper into her eyes. The golden specks in the elf's eyes shift and swirl slowly, picking up speed. It's mesmerizing. All at once, the specks explode into light and color. Absinthe's eyes now fill your field of vision, and it feels as if you're drowning in an alien sea. The patterns traced by the shimmering specks in her eyes are kaleidoscopes, sorry about that, enchanting, nearly impossible to turn away from. Let's lose ourselves. You're lost. Your entire world has been reduced to a churning vortex of green and gold. And I just remembered I didn't really keep I didn't really keep track of the time. Whatever. Dimly, you become aware that something is happening. You feel your body being buffed by unseen forces, and suddenly everything goes black. We wake up with no money and no equipment. Slowly and painfully, you struggle your way back to consciousness. The shop's owner, Elginoon, is peering down at you, an expression of concern on his face. Absinthe stands beside him, her expression one of embarrassment. Welcome back, friend. Elginoon extends a hand to help you to your feet. Absinthe shifts slightly to allow you to stand. What was that? What happened? My fault, my apologies. Sometimes when I daydream, I bring others along for the ride. It was unintentional. Yes, but there was no harm done, correct? You'll be fine. No harm done. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go stand in the corner for a while. It's hilarious. Let's talk to Elginoon first. I don't know why I went all the way over there. Greetings, young human. The elf's voice is smooth as silk and rich as clouded cream. Something about him instantly puts you at ease. I am Elginoon, Half-Dream, the owner of this establishment. In my shop, you'll find only the finest in magical paraphernalia. Now tell me, how may I serve you? Let's see what you have here. Yeah, a lot of spells. The fetishes. That's everything, right? Talk to Absinthe real quick. Absinthe turns to face you. Takes care to avoid looking you in your eyes. Simon Ninja, pleasure as always. What can I do for you? What do you have for sale? Then you'll want to talk to Elginoon. He's just around the corner. Be well, human. The Magic Shop. If Elginoon's in the next game too, like Hong Kong, I'm going to lose my mind. Well... I feel like that's a trap. I'm not going to touch the dancer's bag. I feel like that's poor taste and also a way to get my ass kicked. Let's just jump down to the safe house now. How much, 546, eh? Talk to Blitz on our way in. See what he has to say. Blitz looks up at your approach. The table beside him is littered with cigarette butts and data jack cable dangles from a portable terminal set up by his side. Hey, Chief. You need something? Just checking in. You doing alright? He smiles wide. His smile widens. Great, Chief. I'm doing just great. It's real nice to be able to wind down and relax for a change. No more worrying about this ganger or that ganger sneaking behind me and slipping a knife between my ribs. He slaps the table with a grin. It's a good change, Chief. I've got to say. Glad to hear it. We're happy to have you on the team. Of course you are. He gestures at himself with a flourish. What's not to be happy about? Catch you later, Blitz. We'll leave him be for now. I don't really have questions for him. We gotta say hi to Dante, though. That's a must. You look down and see a pair of bright eyes set into a scruffy face looking back at you. Dante, Monica's old dog. Looking down into those huge brown eyes, you see intelligence and sadness. On some instinctive level, he must know that his master is gone. Dante lets out a small whine, then rubs his head against your leg. Let's pet him. Seems to cheer him up a little bit. He starts to follow me. I don't know why this is in my stash and why I can't take it out. Unless I already have it. I must have it already. And I'm positive there's a way to check too. Yeah, now Dante's following me. Oh well, he's a good boy. Wanted. Yeah, I can't check anywhere, unfortunately, but I know for a fact I have to have it. Let's check the mission computer real quick. See if there's anything new here. Your workstation and mission computer, the command center for your team's operations, and your last link to the memory of Monica Schaefer. Her thoughts and words live on in the machine. At times, it's easier to forget that she's gone. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right corner notifies you that you have 0 unread messages. Let's see if, yeah, there we go. Claim payment for the sold pay data. 495 yen. It's not bad. It's better than nothing. Puts me up just under 1,000. Nope, just out 1,000. I was gonna say, who's that over there? It's Dietrich. Well, let's talk to Paul and see what he has to say. Get him to look at these discs. News travels fast, Cyber Ninja. Seems a small group of well-armed assailants entered Das Kasselhaus hotel earlier today and cleaned house, so to speak. If you believe the tale, the controlling gang was eliminated down to the last man. Then the assailants strolled calmly out the front door, leaving a rather interesting power vacuum for the residents of Dockenkype in their wake. Amsel fixes you with a hard stare. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Gang? What gang? Yes, what gang indeed. I would recommend subtlety where possible, mein Freund. Mass bloodshed is not always the best means to an end. That's understandable, and that I was trying to go for subtlety, but I didn't really have an option. But enough of this. We have more pressing matters to discuss. Amsel's expression is harder than you've seen it before. When he speaks, his voice is grim. Iger has told me of Greenwinter's death. She said that he died in the same manner that Monica did. Wasn't a pretty sight. Amsel nods gravely. I know that you and Iger have had your differences. I will tell you that she was badly shaken by the sight of Winter's body. She also mentioned that you found something in Winter's safe, a package full of very old discs. May I see them? Of course. We hand over the discs. Good God. Gingerly, Amsel lifts a disc from the bundle and holds it up to the light. Slowly, he begins to turn it in his hand, causing rainbow patterns to shimmer across its surface. I haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. This is a DVD RW, a data storage medium from the mid-2000s. It's amazed that Winters was able to find a device that could play it. Do you know how we could read these things? He puts down the DVD in his hands and quickly inspects the others. The first disc that I looked at might be readable. The others are damaged, some severely so. I have my doubts about them. For now, let's concentrate on the undamaged disc. There's a little shop outside the data haven. Talk to the proprietor, Mallet Harley. She might be able to help. Tell her to put the cost of the device on my account. I'm on it. We know Mallet. She's a good friend of ours. Also kind of want to see what she has in her wares too. I'm going to end up just selling that erosion thing. I'm praying to God that I don't need it. Welcome back. What can I do for you? Let me see what you got. So I have one of those, which is better than that. Yeah, see, it doesn't say I own erosion level 1, but... What was the suppression? There it is. I need suppression for sure. I can have up to 4 programs. Two ESPs. Should get some ESP too. Let's take killer. Let's buy all that. Confirm. Now, I'm looking for something that can play back a DVD RW. Really? That is old tech. Very old, in fact. Just a moment. I will go look. She turns to rummage through a bin of obsolete components at the back of her stall. Ah, yes, here we are. The dwarf wrestles a mid-sized flat-screen display out of the bin. This display has old enough hookups to connect to a DVD player. RCA, you know. Vintage. The player itself, though, this I do not have. You may wish to try your luck down at the junkyard. There is a scavenger there, a primitive man with a crude disposition. If anyone here in the cruise bazaar can help you find your DVD player, he can. But he will almost certainly attempt to overcharge you for it. She takes a deep breath and smiles up at you, of course. I just spent all my money. But you're not here for gossip. Shall we conclude our business? I could give you the display for, say, 200 yen. Paul Amsel said to charge it to his account. Ah, very well. I will have it packaged up and delivered to her Amsel straight away. Best of luck finding your DVD reader. I wish you well. Considering I just spent all my money, I don't know how I'm going to get this, but we're going to find out. Tis the guy we're looking for, Scrody. A stout old man looks up from whatever old tech he's tinkering with to squint at you through thick old-fashioned glasses. He pushes them up with an oil-stained finger as he straightens up to nod at you. He speaks with a gruff but well-meaning tone, heavily accented with German tonality. Guten Tag. What can I do for you? Mallet tells me you're the man to speak to about DVDs. That little shrew sent you my way, huh? Scrody's smile bronze. Well, wonder which never cease. Well, introductions are in order, I suppose. Scrody Bunchman at your service. The old man raises a grimy hand in salute. Need something salvaged? Some old components? Well shit. I'm indeed your man. Wonderful. How about that DVD player? Well, let's see. I think that I've got something that'll work for you. Scrody rummages through the junk, heaped on the table behind him. A few seconds later, he snatches a battered plastic lozenge shape from the pile. Here we go. An old Korean player that I dug up last week. 2010 model. Real beauty. Scrody smiles bronze and he gives you a conspirational wink. I fixed her up and got her running, but without any discs to read. I've mostly been using her as a paperweight. Sounds like what I'm looking for. How much do you want for it? Scrody glances back at the DVD player, a rueful expression on his face. Well, I'll admit, I'm a little loath to part with her. That's plenty of folks out there who'd really appreciate an older player such as this, and I don't know what your intentions are for it. I suppose, given the time and trouble I took putting her back together, that I'd be willing to part with her for, say... Scrody's eyes dart over your gear, a calculated expression on his face. About 500 yen. I'm short on cash right now. Could I offer you something in trade? The old man pauses for a moment, considering. I'll tell you what. A few months ago, I had well, call it a difference of opinion, with that Burkazgazi fellow from the Soya shop. He hasn't let me in his establishment since, and I'd sell my mother for a decent cup of coffee. You get me a cup of Turkish coffee, the real stuff, not the fake junk, and I'll give you the DVD player. Sounds like a deal? Deal. I think I can manage that. Where are we going here? Go on, Dante. Let's go see Altog. I was going to say, who's in here I can talk to? No one, it's just Dante. Good boy. The Turk flashes his worry smile and winks at you knowingly. I am told you have been quite busy late, a wanderer of the shadows. My street rats tell me that business is picking up. Is that the man who has taken over for Monica Burkakazi? Who does it look like? You returned the Pope from the Vatican? Give him a soy-off, a big one, and put it on my account. I like the cut of his jib. A large soy-off? My, you are the generous one. Goldschmidt. Are you sure you can afford such a gesture? The fat man frowns. And a scone. I was going to say. And a scone as well. Nothing is too good for him. As you desire, ample one. Turk whispers. The man is a moron, but he eats his weight in baklava and pastries, so who am I to care? Now, what would you like? Coffee, as in real coffee, not soy coffee. For individuals of refined taste, I offer genuine bean coffee from my native Turkey. The cafe owner looks you in the eye. The tone of his voice grows low and serious. This is a top-shelf item, my friend, and not for the general public. Only for those few discerning connoisseurs who can properly appreciate it. I think I'm the sort who can appreciate it. Tell me about the Turkish coffee. It is hand-picked by my family in Turkey, a true delicacy of the sixth world. This was considered a luxury even before the awakening, where bean coffee was everywhere. Every street corner, they say. Perkakazi leans in close, lowering his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. Long hours in the shop have perfumed his body with the commingled scents of coffees, incense, and applewood tobacco. Trust me, if your coffee experience has been limited to soy calf, you must not deny yourself this opportunity. You will see God. Alright, you sold me. How much? I don't even have 50 yuan. This is horrible. How much do I have? 41, of course. Let me sell the fucking... let me sell one of these grenades. Sell a grenade, and then I can run back there, pick up the, Let me see if she has the drone ready, because if she has the drone ready, I'll take that from her. Got the drone fixed yet? These things take, they take time. I'm making progress, though. Give me a little more. Okay. Let's get rid of the crappier one. Give me a Turkish coffee, the real stuff. Very good. Bukazki hands you a ceramic travel cup, which he then fills to the brim with dark, streaming liquid. The scent is intoxicating. Is there anything more that I can get you? Nah, I'm good. Thanks, Altog. Back to that guy now. I mean, I'd rather pay 50 yen than fucking 500. That's for sure. Scotty looks up at you again from his work and nods. Hello again, Manhira. I'm a bit busy. What can I do for you? I'm back for my DVD player. Well, it ain't yours yet, but I've got it right here. Been keeping it warm for you. Now, you got my coffee, or do you have the 500 yen? I got that coffee for you. Ah, thank you. Scotty gratefully accepts the coffee, then snaps the lid back and inhales deeply, wiggling his mustache as he processes the scent. Yep, that's the real stuff, alright. Scotty gingerly picks up the ancient device from the table and presses it into your hands. The plastic is scuffed and worn, and it rattles a bit when you move it. Give her some good use, okay? You already know. Back to the safe house we go. Come on, Dante. There he is. He's a good boy. Looks like everyone's sitting around, too. It seems that Amsel has assembled a team in your absence. They stand in a group around the old display that you had Mallet deliver. On their faces, you can see excitement and apprehension, curiosity and dread. Cyber Ninja, have you procured a DVD reader? I have it. It's right here. Good. This should only take me a moment. Amsel disappears behind the ancient device. After a few moments of fiddling with its battery inputs, he reappears, a satisfied look on his face. Everything appears to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. Well, don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing already. Cyber Ninja went to the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Amsel steps back, clearing a path for you to access the antique machine. Alright. A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. Track 1. Screen goes black, and cheerful digital chiming sound spills out of the display speakers. A crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. After a few moments, the display goes live, and a disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glitter with excitement. The timestamp on the screen is 2034-09-15. Hermie, I think we found her. After all this time, Fürschwin. I knew that she wasn't dead. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. She survived the Dragonfall, just as I've always said. I knew it, and I was right. The screen explodes into static, and the electronic whine in the background shapes into a needle-like pulse of high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dante lets out a low whimper. The screen clears and the excited face is closer to the screen than it was before. The words spill out of him in a breathless tide. Taking a team into the SOX to retrieve her. The radiation be damned. We will take appropriate precautions, of course, but we must go. Hermie, I think that the body may be nearby as well. Somehow she has survived for all of this time. The screen explodes into static again and clears. The figure flickers across the screen. May not be back for some time. Look after Mom, okay? I'll worry about her. And Hermie, stay safe out there. I know that things are heating up in Berlin, and I know you. Student protests, civil uprising, you'll be in the middle of it, I'm sure. Just stay safe, alright? And I'll do my best to do the same. I don't know what's going to happen when I step into the SOX, but I do know one thing. If the Fire Wing is still a danger, I will put an end to her, once and for all. The display goes black, and background whine fades away. A moment later, you find yourself deposited back at the menu screen. Let's go for track 2 then. The screen goes black for a moment, then a figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Green Winters. His elbow is planted on the table that he's seated at, and his chin rests on his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a bottle of cheap whiskey. The timestamp on the video reads 2053-1225. Found the message Adrian left me, all those years ago. Got it cleaned up as best as I could. Strange hearing his voice again. He pauses to take a long pull on the bottle. It's good to hear him, even if he did insist on calling me Hermie. Dr. Adrian Vauclair, the hero of the people, the Dragon Slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's been almost 20 years. Alright, so I'm gonna start recording these DVDs again, for me, for Adrian, for whoever might wind up watching them. Every time I do this, it winds up feeling like a waste of time, but I keep doing it anyway. On the off chance that I'll find something important. If I stumble into the clue that leads me to my brother, I know that I'm gonna want to watch it on film. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, after all. No sense in quitting now. Christ, 20 years. All this time and still no leads. Even with all my contacts and my resources. He takes another long swallow of cheap liquor. Even with the legendary bullheadedness I've made, no progress at all. I haven't turned up a single goddamn thing. Want to hear something funny? The closest I've gotten to a clue was a rumor. Apparently a team emerged from the SOX a while back. Nobody's clear on that data, on the date, but, and get this, he leans into the camera and gives a conspiratorial wink. Supposedly, they vanished without a trace. He upends the bottle, drains it, slams it back down to the table. His eyes are rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor considering I already know that they're gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Abruptly, Winter leans forward and reaches for something off screen. The display goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu returns. There's a grinding sound from the DVD tray, and Green Winter's image appears on the screen. There is an eager look on his face. The timestamp on the video reads 2054-1012. Stumbled upon this archival footage of Fürschwind's original attack, months before the Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. I've got the footage all queued up to play. Starting it now, additional comments to follow. The swirl whir of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into being on the screen. A timestamp in the upper right corner of the screen marks the date, July 6, 2012. It's difficult to make out what you're seeing at first. The scene is dark and smoky, and the telltale flashes of emergency vehicles light flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in, and you can make out two figures standing in a ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Again, for those of you joining us, we are coming to you live from Storburg. A few hours ago, the Dragonfall Fürschwing launched an unprovoked attack on the sleepy Harz mountain town, and you can see the results behind me: fire, ashes, and blood. We are joined tonight by a survivor of the latest and most horrifying attack. The reporter turns to face a pale man standing behind him. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. The camera switches focus to a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home